My parents moved to England in 1965. Like many others, they came with hopes and aspirations for a better life. My siblings and I were born and raised in England, and our parents encouraged us to work hard, to have passion for whatever we chose to do, and to seize the opportunities that we were given. I studied accountancy at university, and then after a number of roles within the industry, I eventually took up a position as financial controller for an independent advertising agency right here in London. So how did I find myself in retailing? Well, in 2009, whilst on maternity leave with our son, I was struggling with my decision to return back to work. I felt a real challenge to strike a comfortable balance between work and family life. I didn't want to waste the skills that I'd gained over the years, but equally didn't want to miss out on those all too precious early years with our children. So my husband, Jag, having owned and run several stores throughout his working life, suggested we open a new store together. We could combine our efforts, each of us bringing to the table our own areas of expertise, while still having the lifestyle flexibility necessary to raise our family. Jag's parents owned a convenience store at the time and had run stores for the best part of 30 years. Looking at them, we learnt an incredible amount, ideas and principles that we still use today. Their work ethic, they showed a tremendous amount of work ethic, working tirelessly, long hours with no staff. They would do the cash and carry runs, they would stack the shelves, they would serve the customers, cash up, clean up, maintain the store. Come rain or shine, that store would be open. And to that end, they would wear as many hats necessary to ensure it stayed open. Of course, having your own business came with its rewards too. They enjoyed a greater sense of control. You have choices and you get to make decisions. There is security in the knowledge that you govern your future employment prospects too. It was the sacrifices that our parents made that built the foundations for our future. Those foundations have afforded us, the second generation, with the luxury to embrace the changes and to make the bold decisions that we've implemented in our store today. And I'm hoping to share some of those with you now. We opened the store with a very basic makeover. For 3 to 5 years, we built our customer base using our ethos to get a good idea of what our customers wanted, and that then allowed us to do the refit that the store needed in accordance to what the store required and how we wanted to grow the business for the future. In 2005, we used the Jordan Group for our refit, and we invested a lot of time, money, and tears sometimes into refitting it. We closed the shop for nearly 2 weeks, which was probably one of the most scariest parts of the refit, because as a first generation, it was unheard of to close your shop. But in hindsight, that was the best thing that we could have done. The grand opening was a huge success, and so many of our customers thanked us for giving them what I quote, the best store in Cricklade to shop in. With the newly refitted store came a real buzz, and we wanted to maintain that momentum. We've introduced a coffee machine with syrups, an idea that was suggested to us by one of our customers, a slush puppy machine, craft beers, some of which are locally sourced, and a vape station to cope with rapidly increasing demand in that area. We've even introduced a hot food counter to satisfy the food-to-go market. We started small and have built on that week in, week out, starting with sausage rolls initially, and now 8 months later, we bake in-store pies, pasties, slices, wraps, apple turnovers, cookies, and fresh bread. We launched our Facebook page in 2012. We use it for all sorts of things, to tell our customers about new offers in stores. We tell them about new products or services too. We advertise job vacancies and even act as a community notice board for people that have lost their keys or even for local sports fixtures. We try to keep it quite light and breezy so that people can just tap into the information as and when they require. So customer service is really big for us at the store. Gone are the days when you serve customers whilst being on the phone to a relative catching up on family gossip. Customers are gold and should be treated as such. We at Culverhay Stores don't just say hello to the customers when they walk through the door. We go that extra mile. We remember their names, we engage in conversations with them, we carry their bags out to the car if need be. It's about listening to the customers and bringing in stock lines that they've also requested. We've had a number of tastings in store too. You'll see in the photos, we've got cheese and wine, beer and cider tasting, and most recently we did a mince pie tasting as well. We like to involve our customers and make sure they receive a great experience while visiting our store. We feel that our store is really anchored into our local community. We both have a really strong sense of responsibility towards that community and feel the need to give back to whenever we can. We employ people from within the community. We've also introduced a piece of free fruit for children of parents that are shopping in store. We also support fundraising for local charities, and we also sponsor the local football team as well. We also volunteer for positions in the community, from school governor for the local primary school to sitting on the town council, as well as even sports coach for the local football team as well. So the next generation. These are our children, Arjun and Arya, dressed in their shop uniform because we insist that every member of staff that is on the shop floor should wear a uniform. They're dressed for their shift in the shop. Arjun, who is 9 years old, loves Lego and wants to be an architect when he grows up. On the other hand, his sister, Arya, who is 6, can't decide whether she wants to be a DJ or a doctor. But whilst in her own words, she also wants to work part-time in the shop too. But all jokes aside, whether they decide to carry on the family business or perhaps create something of their own, it's our hope that they too will learn from our experiences and values and build on them for the future. So to wrap it up, the way forward, the next generation of retail will look different. The retailers that will succeed will be those that embrace the changes. Invest in your staff and the community. Helping others and giving back is rewarding and creates happiness. This keeps you humble during periods of success. A successful business provides benefits to more than just the owners. Technology, embrace it. It really does make life easier. Analyze your EPOS, look at what sells, look at your wastage, and minimize your theft. And finally, communication. Effective communication is crucial for a business to be successful. It means talking to other retailers to find out what's working well or what's not working well, listening to your staff and customers, and tapping into the vast knowledge and experience your RDM offers.
HKS is one of the largest private roadside retailers in the country, as Clive mentioned, with 71 locations. We are fully family owned still, with the first and second generation working closely side by side. The business was started by my father and 2 brothers who are here in the room today in 1984 from one location, and over the last few years we've worked together to grow this business to where we are today. We work with various brands including Shell, BP and Esso on the forecourt, but also with various other brands such as Spa, Subway, Greggs and Costa to introduce various other offers into our stores. Whilst forecourt retailing is where we started, we have a huge focus on convenience retailing and food. And we see food as a real key driver, especially branded food, into how we drive more customers into one location. We now have a group with a turnover over 250 million with a great team of 800 plus people. And now operating nationally from Scotland right down to Surrey, which is fun. Here's a picture of one of our recent developments. As touched on earlier, it's a location where we wanted to develop something to be fit for the future, and a location that has more than one facility under the roof, i.e. we have a Subway, we have a Greggs, we have Costa, and a great Spa store, all working together there to provide our customers with everything that they need. Here's some ideas of our operating model. So we've recently started working with Greggs, which is going really well. We're trying to grow significantly with them, and we have a number of locations in the pipeline to develop. All right, a little bit about how we make it work as a next generation. As an industry that comes from a background that has a number of people from, with families involved, we thought it was important to discuss how we make that work. It has its challenges, but overall it's a great thing. And if you have the balance of parts in place to make this work, it's excellent because you've got everything from experience through to youthfulness collaborating together to create what could be a very successful business. Parts of what we do is really focusing on business first. And by that I mean with a family business, there's lots of requirements of individuals and what their desires might be, but we always operate with the motto that is putting what the business needs first above any one person's desire. The other bit is respect, and this isn't respect by age, this is respect of each other's ideas and being able to respect what each person might want to obtain from the business, but then working together to create those goals. And then it's about sharing all. This is not necessarily the fact that everyone has to do everything, but just letting everyone know what we're doing all the time is great. And I think a powerful tool is just to say, oh, this is what I'm doing, what do you think? And always receiving feedback. And that kind of comes onto instinct. Whilst I might live sometimes by my spreadsheets and various wonderful ideas, sometimes just having the instinct of the guys to say, actually, what do they think with having 35, 40 years of experience in the sector is more valuable than any of that. And then really it's a bit about various tasks, various levels. And by this, it means we all love to get involved within all areas of our business. And we don't operate with a rigid hierarchy. We feel it's important that each person must be involved in all areas of the business. And asking questions, as I said, so constantly asking questions of our team, our family, and our customers is really key for us. A little bit about what our advice would be to anyone else in that scenario of being in a next generation business, working alongside your parents or uncles that may have also been in the business for a long time. The first one is building your team. The challenges of this come with the original team that have been there for years with your parents. And actually, that's not a bad thing. And yes, you might want to bring in your own team members, and there may be a bit of initial challenge between them, but as long as you communicate your ideas clearly about what you want to achieve with that business and have the support of the elders, then I think that's great. The other bit, again, following on, is communicating well. And that is more communicating what you as a business wants, but also the family, the family's personality throughout that business. What do you as a family want to achieve with this business? And for us, for instance, it's great customer service, but it's also giving back to the community, which forms our true kind of pillars of what we do. And then there's external advice. Now, with family businesses, particularly of the Asian community, this hasn't always been the first thing to turn to, but we've found that really helps us. Bringing in a non-exec chairman, bringing in non-exec directors and other advisors has really helped us to grow our business, getting an outsider's view at a higher level into what we do, but also allowing it to still have great relationships and have good dinners together as a family and not arguing out all the time. Next bit is really the essentials. Operating as a family business, you often forget that actually you still run a corporate entity, be it from one store up to hundreds of stores. And by that, I mean making sure you have everything in place from legislation right through to board minutes, remuneration packages, and everything that really builds it as a corporate entity, be it for your future plans, be it for an exit, be it for growth, and being prepared for that. And then there's really the future. By future, I mean what you're going to do with your business in the future, but also succession planning, when and at what level does a person join a family business. Right. That's kind of explained a little bit about how we make it work together. The arguments aside, it's great fun, and actually they're what probably keep us all going really well. A little bit about how we're going to use these experiences and learnings to grow our future. And part of that is to grow our network, and that's both in the UK and internationally. We look to invest in our existing locations, and as Hema had some great pictures of what they've done with refits, the future of our business is really around what can we do in the store to make it more pleasant for our customers. We do a lot of work with electric vehicle infrastructure. As a business that has always done mobility, we find ourselves best placed for this, and we have a growing area that works with automotive manufacturers to do this. We're also looking to partner with new brands on stores and food. And the other key bit for us is encouraging other family members to join as they get through their education, work outside for a while, and then join us with their experiences. And then obviously, as I said, working with local communities is a key part of our business, and we hope to continue doing that further. And the other bit is to keep smiling and working together. So that's a picture of all the family. There's more involved. My sister, for instance, wasn't there that day. But it's to work together. And we recently supported the opening of a medical research facility in Leicester last week, and that was at the opening of that. And it's great to build a family business, but also then to make sure you're involved with great projects outside of the business. And in summary, I would say, everyone that's young and wants to come into a business wants to make all the changes in the world. Yes, they're great, but always take feedback, but do them slowly. But don't be scared to make those changes. Encourage other members of the family, seek external advice, organize your company structure, and always support good causes. And I guess as we say, step into the future, you must take action today, but only after deciphering yesterday. And actually, if you're in a family business, you've got so much experience of yesterday that you should have the best footing you can to grow your business for the future.
As with any business, particularly with family members, I mean, I got my brother-in-law to put in my underfloor heating. He had a massive Barney. I didn't speak to him for 6 months. This is true. I'm speaking to him now. No. But, Shane, you painted a very rosy glow on this whole family thing. And I know some of your relatives are here. Have there been moments when you thought, you know what, this is a huge, big mistake?
Not a mistake, but you're right, it's challenging, and you often get into situations which, you kind of sometimes hope that you wouldn't. And as a family, I think it's important, like I said, to keep those barriers, get the right people in place to help you maintain that family environment. It is difficult at times, especially when you have differing opinions. But I think, it's taken years to find that balance of actually getting to the place where you're not only trusted, but actually you still take the right feedback and not make your own decisions completely without the first generation.
Sure, absolutely. And you're always looking for new acquisitions, looking to move forward, increase the portfolio.
Yes.
I mean, how do you make that initial leap from one store to potentially a chain? What is the crucial first step you've got to make?
I think the key bit is to get your footings right in that, both at a central level but at a site level. And talking about from one site, we saw some great things earlier about the way that Global and their best ones was, it's those policies in place. Operate that one store to its best ability. Get your operating model right, be it legislative, like I said, be it your planograms, and have that in a way that if the next opportunity comes about, you almost have a model that you can replicate. Obviously, there'll be bits that change around that, different consumers, different demographics, but actually those are the bits that as an independent retailer who's been used to building those relationships with customers, that will come naturally to you. But it's the bit about getting those footings right from the start, and then having that ability to like I said, document everything so you can forecast that growth.
You can plan, absolutely. And Emma, finally, localization, so important to the success of your business and your involvement in the community. And we've heard from other speakers, from Arjan here, for instance, about having Polish food. I mean, that kind of localization, that kind of tailored fit for your business, that is an obvious way to beat the multiples, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it has a certain degree of authenticity as well that brings to your store, that you're going that extra mile, that you're thinking about things. You're using your size to your advantage as well, and thinking that you can actually put these things into place quite quickly and adapt to the changes, as opposed to a big multiple that has to kind of put processes and procedures into place to make the slightest changes.
But you remember people's names?
We do try to, and I have a memory like a fish sort of thing, so I still manage to, most often, we do. We remember names, we remember family members, what they've done at the weekend, following up on those sorts of things. But again, it's not, it is part of what we do, but it's the community that we live in. Our children go to school in the town, we see customers walking about when we are out and about in the town. We want to do that, not just for the store, just because this is our community as well.
Yeah, I mean, my newsagent remembers my name. He usually says, Clive, that was a really rubbish piece you did last night. Could do better. Shane, thank you so much.
Thank you
very
very
much
much
indeed. I guess.